Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
Hey guys, we're really happy you're here with us today.
I hope your day is going well so far.
And today we're talking about something very simple, very everyday, and very real.
Yes, today we're talking about cooking at home.
Which is a great topic because almost everyone has some kind of relationship with cooking.
That's true.
Some people love it.
Some people hate it,
Some people cook every day.
and some people try not to cook if they can avoid it.
That's very real.
So maybe we should start with a simple question. Do you like cooking at home?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
That sounds honest.
It is.
What do you mean?
I like cooking when it feels simple, calm, and not too complicated.
That makes sense.
But if I'm very tired, very hungry, or the kitchen feels messy, then cooking becomes much less fun.
That's so relatable.
What about you?
I like cooking more when I'm not in a rush.
That sounds very Emily.
I know.
So, if you have enough time, you enjoy it more?
Definitely.
Why?
Because then it feels peaceful.
Yes.
I can choose what I want, cut things slowly, make tea or coffee, maybe put on music, and just do one simple thing at a time.
That actually sounds really nice.
It is.
I think cooking at home can feel very different, depending on the mood.
Definitely.
Sometimes it feels warm and comforting,
Yes,
and sometimes it feels like one more task.
exactly. I think that's why people have such different feelings about cooking.
I agree.
It's not only about food.
Right.
It's also about energy, time, mood, and how your day feels.
That's such a good point. Do you think cooking at home is important?
Yes, I do.
Same.
Not because everyone needs to become an amazing cook,
No,
but because cooking at home can make life simpler in many ways.
definitely.
It can save money.
Yes,
It can feel healthier.
very true.
And sometimes it can make daily life feel a little more organized.
I agree. I also think cooking at home gives people more control.
In what way?
You choose the ingredients.
Yes.
You choose how simple or how heavy the meal is.
Exactly.
And you don't always need to depend on restaurants, delivery, or random snacks.
That's very true. What kind of food do you like cooking at home?
Simple food.
That sounds very you.
I know.
Like what?
Eggs, pasta, rice, chicken, vegetables, toast, simple bowls, things like that.
That sounds very realistic.
I think simple food wins.
I agree.
I don't want cooking at home to feel like a big project every day.
Same.
I think one of the reasons people stop cooking is because they make it too difficult.
That's such a good point. They imagine every meal needs to be special. Yes. Or interesting.
Or beautiful.
Or very healthy and very creative at the same time.
Exactly.
And then, cooking starts feeling heavy.
That's so true.
I think normal home cooking should be allowed to be simple.
Definitely.
A simple meal is still a real meal.
That should be on a wall.
It really should.
What do you like cooking most?
Probably simple breakfast food.
Oh, that makes sense.
I like eggs, toast, yogurt bowls, oatmeal, things like that.
Nice.
Breakfast food often feels easy and comforting.
I agree.
What about you?
Pasta is probably one of my easiest home meals.
That's a good one.
It's simple, filling, and not too stressful.
Yes, pasta is very helpful when you want something easy.
Exactly.
I also think cooking at home can be very different when you cook for one person or for more people.
Definitely.
Cooking for yourself can feel very easy.
Or very lazy.
That too.
Sometimes people cook nicely for others, but not for themselves.
That's such a good point. Why do you think that happens?
Maybe because cooking for others feels more meaningful.
Yes.
Or maybe because when people are alone, they want the easiest possible option.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people say, if it's only for me, I don't want to make much effort.
Yes, that's very common.
But I also think cooking for yourself can be a nice form of care.
I love that.
I really mean it.
It's true, though.
Even something simple can feel caring.
Yes, it doesn't need to be a perfect dinner.
No.
Just real food, made with a little attention.
Exactly.
Do you like cooking in silence or with something in the background?
Usually with something in the background.
Same.
Soft music is nice.
Yes,
Sometimes a podcast.
definitely.
I think good sound can make cooking feel easier.
Me too.
It changes the energy of the kitchen.
That's very true. I think one reason people dislike cooking is the feeling that it takes too long,
Yes, that's a big one.
especially after work.
Definitely.
If someone is tired, hungry, and low energy, cooking can feel like too much.
That's so relatable. I think that's why easy meals are important.
Very important.
If every home meal needs lots of time and lots of steps, it becomes harder to keep the habit.
Exactly.
I think every person needs a few easy meals.
Yes, a few safe meals.
I like that phrase.
Meals that are simple, normal, and easy to repeat.
Definitely. What is one easy meal you make when you don't want to think too much?
Eggs and toast.
That's a very good one.
What about you?
Probably yogurt with fruit and something simple on the side. Or eggs too.
That sounds good.
I think easy meals help people cook more often.
Absolutely. Because cooking at home becomes easier when you remove pressure.
That's such a good point. I think people often stop cooking because they connect it with too much effort.
Yes.
But if the meal is simple, the whole thing feels more possible.
Exactly. Let's talk about the kitchen itself.
Good idea.
Because I think a messy kitchen makes cooking harder.
Definitely.
If the kitchen is already messy, I feel less motivated immediately.
Same.
Dirty dishes, too many things on the table, no space, bad light. All that changes the feeling.
Yes, the space matters so much.
Definitely.
I think cooking becomes easier when the kitchen feels calm enough.
I agree.
Not perfect,
No.
but usable.
That's a very good word.
Thank you.
I think one small habit that helps cooking is cleaning a little while you cook.
Yes, that really helps.
Not everything at the end.
Exactly.
Just little things during the process.
That makes the whole experience lighter.
Definitely.
I also think home cooking changes with the season.
That's interesting.
In what way? In cold weather, I want warmer and heavier food.
Same.
Soup, pasta, rice, warm meals, things like that.
Yes.
And in hot weather, I want simpler and lighter food.
Definitely.
Salads, fruit, cold yogurt, easy meals, less cooking time.
That makes a lot of sense. I think weather changes appetite a lot.
It really does.
Do you think cooking at home can be relaxing?
Sometimes, yes.
Same.
Especially when there is no pressure and no rush.
Yes, that's the key.
If I have time, a simple recipe, and a calm mood, cooking can feel very grounding.
I love that word. It does feel grounding sometimes.
Yes. Your hands are doing something real.
Exactly.
cutting, mixing, washing, stirring, it can feel very physical and calming.
I think that's one reason some people love cooking so much.
Definitely.
It brings them into the moment.
Yes, and that's a beautiful thing.
But I also think it's okay if people don't love cooking.
Definitely.
Not everyone needs to turn it into a hobby.
No,
For some people, it's just a life skill.
exactly. And I think that's enough.
Me too.
You don't need to love cooking to make simple food at home.
That's a very important point.
I think people sometimes create too much pressure around it.
Yes. Like you should enjoy it, be good at it, make beautiful meals, and love the whole process.
Exactly.
But maybe you just want to eat something decent and continue your day.
That's so real. By the way, if you enjoy listening to Simple English with us, don't forget to subscribe to Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
And if you think this episode can help a friend with English, feel free to share it with them.
We'd really appreciate that.
Okay, let's keep going.
Let's talk about cooking with other people.
Oh, that can be nice.
Yes, I think cooking with someone can feel warm and fun.
Definitely.
It turns food into a shared moment.
I agree.
Do you like cooking with someone?
If the energy is good, yes.
That sounds honest.
It is.
What do you mean by good energy?
Calm, easy, no stress, no fighting over tiny things.
That makes sense.
If one person is too controlling or too rushed, it becomes less fun.
Very true. But if both people are relaxed, it can be really nice.
Definitely.
Talking, cooking, tasting things, moving around the kitchen together, it can feel cozy.
I like that. I also think cooking at home can save money.
Definitely.
Sometimes people spend a lot on food outside without noticing it.
Yes. A coffee here, lunch there, dinner somewhere else, delivery at night. It adds up very fast.
Exactly.
Home cooking can make daily life feel more stable.
I agree.
Not only cheaper, but calmer too.
That's a good point.
If you know there is food at home, one part of life feels easier.
Definitely. I think one big problem is when people wait until they are too hungry to think.
Oh yes,
That's a dangerous time,
very dangerous.
because then every simple meal feels too hard.
Exactly.
And then delivery starts looking like the answer to everything.
That's so true. I think one good habit is having a few easy things at home all the time.
Definitely.
Eggs, pasta, rice, yogurt, bread, fruit, vegetables. Simple basics.
Yes. That makes cooking easier.
Because then you don't need to invent life every evening.
That's such a good sentence.
Thank you.
I think simple ingredients make simple cooking possible.
Definitely.
What do you think is more important, cooking skill or cooking habit?
Cooking habit.
Interesting.
Why? Because many people already know enough to make simple food.
That's very true.
The bigger issue is often not skill.
It's keeping the habit alive.
Exactly.
I really agree with that.
You don't need to be amazing.
No,
You just need a few real meals you can repeat.
that's very helpful. So if someone says, I want to cook at home more, where should they start?
I would say start with very easy meals.
Good answer.
Not difficult recipes, not 5 new ingredients, not pressure.
Yes.
Start with what feels possible.
Eggs, pasta, rice, toast, simple bowls, simple salads, things like that.
Exactly.
What would you say next?
Keep a few basic ingredients at home all the time.
I like that.
Because cooking becomes much easier when the kitchen already has simple options.
Definitely.
What would your advice be?
I would say don't wait for the perfect mood to cook.
That's a very good one.
Because the perfect mood may not come.
So true.
Sometimes cooking becomes easier after you start, not before.
Yes, that happens a lot.
So, what is one home meal you want this week?
Something simple and warm.
That sounds good.
What about you?
Pasta with something easy and no stress.
That sounds very you.
I know.
And I support it.
Thank you.
So, maybe the message of this episode is simple.
Cooking at home does not need to be complicated.
It can be simple, normal, and enough.
Easy meals still matter.
Small habits still matter too.
And a calm kitchen can make daily life feel better.
Exactly.
So that was our conversation about cooking at home.
Thanks for spending this time with us on Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend who is learning English too.
We'd really appreciate that.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.